All right. Sorry for coming out here looking so tired and busted, but it is a work week and I just got home from work. But I wanted to do a little bit of my crochet project that I started well over a month ago, and I just had it sitting on my couch. And I finally decided to let me just go ahead and finish this project. So the project is a skirt set, and I had the skirt almost done and just sitting on my couch for a while. And I didn't really know how I wanted to end it. So this is how it looks. And I didn't have this blue ruffle detail on there until like this weekend. And that's when I was like, oh, I know what I want to, how I want to end it. But other than that, this is my first skirt set also. Um, it's my first time doing a skirt. So this is what this part looks like. And now I'm currently working on the top to it. And the top is just me just freestyling. I've made other tops, I've made other projects, and I just wanted to see what I could put together real quick. Um, so I started from this blue part, and then I wanted to add a houndstooth detail to it. So that's kind of what it is. I don't know if you can see that. The lighting's probably not that great, but it's kind of a houndstooth detailing in it. And then I decided, oh, let me add the rib banding to it. So everything is just like, oh, let me do this and let me do that, just randomly trying to figure out how I'm going to put this together without staring at somebody else's um, directions or videos. And we'll see how it comes out. If you're interested in what colors I'm using, I am using red hearts color in pool. You can see that, hopefully. Big twist in teal. And hopefully you can see that. And this is not a tutorial. I'm just going to be working on this as I talk about my solo trip to Puerto Rico. I was not actually planning on posting anything about my Puerto Rico trip, so this is not going to be like a vlog like posting. I figured I did take pictures and videos, but it was just for me. But then I figured I'd talk about Puerto Rico. So is anybody who wants to take a trip to Puerto Rico, whether solo or with friends, this is just what I did when I went to Puerto Rico. So stay tuned. All right. So this Puerto Rico trip. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be a solo trip. It was supposed to be a friend's trip, like a girl's trip or a friend's trip, but they weren't able to make it. And I had already bought my tickets. The tickets were cheap, and I was one of those like, oh, these tickets are cheap. These flights are cheap. So let me just buy the ticket, and then I'm gonna figure out what to do afterwards. So it was February when I bought the tickets for May. Um, and then I try to get everything ready afterwards. I don't mind doing something like that, especially because I know where I'm working currently. I know chances are I'm going to be able to get the days off. So the morning of the trip, I was excited, like most people are going to be when they go on a trip. And you know how flight airlines, they will message you and say, "Oh, don't forget to check in. Don't forget to check in online." Well, that's what Frontier did. Frontier was like, "Oh, don't forget to check in online." And I was like, I was waking up and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go check in. And probably 20, 30 minutes later, before I check in, before actually like my alarm is going off or anything, I get a message saying that my flight is canceled. And I was just like, what? So I literally thought that somebody went into my account and canceled my flight. And I just didn't understand because I was checking the flight statuses on Google, and I forgot what the other website's called where you could check the flight status of your flight number, and nothing was saying that the flight was canceled. It just wasn't saying that. So I was just like, what is going on? Who canceled my flight? But when I went on the website, I couldn't rebook the flight. So I was just like, okay, what are the other options? The other options, flying out of my city, I would have had to flown to a completely different state, stayed in my at that state, and then flying to Puerto Rico the next day. and that was super inconvenient. So I decided this, like, oh, I know there's another international airport within 3 hours of me. Let me see if they have any flights. And luckily for me, they had flights. And I just had to drive like almost 3 hours to that flight. Luckily, it was a Thursday, so it wasn't a bunch of traffic. And I made it to the flight. And I got there. I got to Puerto Rico probably 3 hours later than I expected to. So that wasn't a great start, but luckily I found I found a workaround, because if that hadn't happened, I either would have been a day late or I would have had to pay three, four, $500 more for the ticket out of nowhere. And I still never found out why it got canceled. But okay. So that definitely was not a good start to the trip. But other than that, the trip wasn't bad. When I got there, I got my rental car. Um, and I don't know if anybody else does this, because maybe it's not needed. But I have learned over the years to protect myself in any way possible, and that includes so I always take a video of the car right where I'm picking it up from, so nobody's accusing me of dents and scratches and trying to get me to pay for some dents and scratches that I didn't do to the car. So I took a video of it and went on my merry way to my Airbnb. And I think I took a video of the Airbnb. If I did, I'll go ahead and insert it here. This is where I'm at, I guess. It's a whole little setup. Okay, quick little thing. Simple. Okay. This is for the down. Right. Quick little setup. Oh, we can make some money out of this, because he got, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 different Airbnbs in this thing. Yeah, he got a steamer. That's good. Oh, that's cute. Small and cute. You like it? Oh. All right. There you go. And everything was nice. It. Whoever owns that is making some money. That's a good setup, because it was, I think, 3 Airbnb rooms in one on one property. So that's a pretty good setup, and I'm pretty sure that person's making some good money. Um, it was a nice little Airbnb, nice and quiet for the most part. They had like quiet hours, so people couldn't be sitting here partying all night. So I did hear people. Like, if somebody was outside, I definitely heard it, and I heard every single word. But they weren't out there all the time, and it wasn't interfering with my sleep or anything like that. So it wasn't too bad. It was super hot there, and on the first day, well, the first day I got there, I didn't get to my Airbnb till like 5 or 6, and I was tired. I also was fasting for the day, so I fasted the whole entire trip. I fasted the day before and the whole entire flight there. I feel like it kept me really calm. I feel like it helped in that situation, honestly. And when I got there, I didn't want to go leave and find something to eat. I was tired, so I just enjoyed the Airbnb and stayed in. So the next day, I had a photo op experience through Airbnb using a photographer named Kevin. He was pretty nice. I drove to the old San Juan location. I didn't really take too many pictures myself of the location, because I got there in time, but driving in Puerto Rico is, when you get to the local roads where they're smaller and everything, it's crazy. And I already don't like driving downtown in general, even in the States. So driving there where they have the tiny roads and if you happen to drive down the street the same time somebody else does and some of those really small roads, you're gonna have to reverse drive all the way back out that street, or somebody's going to. But anyway, I parked in a garage. It took me forever to find parking in a garage area because all the parking spaces were so tight that you couldn't get out without hitting another car. So I found a parking spot and it was so tight that I had to get out on the passenger side. And even then, luckily, the person I parked next to had a Jeep and they had one of those like side guard things where you could step on it to get inside the Jeep. And so I didn't touch their paint because I was trying hard not to hit somebody's car. I don't like, I was just like, oh my God, no. But he was very patient with me. He understood. Like, he said the parking was hard for him and he lives there. So, very nice. It was super hot though, and I sweat very, very easily, even when it's not that hot. So the fact that it's like, I live in North Florida, and North Florida is hot too, but it wasn't that hot and humid at the time. So I was like, oh, I was not expecting this at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I had this cute outfit on, which you're going to see, and I also took a video, like, because I didn't get the photos until like a week or two later. So I took a video and I had sent it to my mom. I was like, "This is my outfit. Like, I'm just gonna show you, what I wore to this little photo op. Just just so you can see it before you actually get to the pictures. I haven't gotten the pictures yet." And she was like, "Oh, it's cute." But yeah, I'll insert that too as well. But the photos came out so pretty. I've never done any photography things other than like going to Walmart or Sears, JC Penney area and um, getting your photos taken there, where it's just like there's a backdrop and that's it. So it was the very first time like I'm like out in the elements taking pictures, and I felt super pretty. Like I liked the outfit that I picked out, and then he would show me the pictures as he was taking them. Um, I don't. He never told me his Instagram. I asked him if he had an Instagram handle, so if I posted it, then I could put it up there. But maybe if I can remember what the Airbnb thing said, I'll look back to see what it said. So you can, if you go to San Juan, Puerto Rico, then you can ask for this person, or look for this person. But yeah, I liked him. He was very patient. He told me a little bit of the history of Old San Juan and the buildings that we were taking pictures at, the fort and the buildings and everything. And I really appreciate that he was very patient with me, and he told me a little bit about himself and his wife and whatnot. So yeah, it was a good experience. I definitely would do it again. I'm glad that I did do it. Definitely glad that I did do it. After that, I tried to go find something to eat, and some of the restaurants don't open on time. At least on the time that Google says they're supposed to be open. So I had went to find this place that I was interested in going to eat at, and one, I couldn't find parking. So I'm like driving all over the place on these small, tiny streets trying to find parking. Again, I had to back out of a full length of road because one of the roads was so small that another car was coming the other way, and it didn't say it was a one-way road. So I had to back out, and I finally just parked in this one area, and I walked all the way up this little incline hill, and I was trying to ask the people that were working outside the restaurant, like, is it open? Is it going to be open today? And they didn't understand me, and I couldn't understand them, unfortunately. I know like a very small amount of Spanish, but I've never gone past like level two of Spanish, and it's very hard for me to understand somebody who speaks it regularly because they're going to speak it very fast, and then we're not going to get anywhere at this point. So, um, I just walked away, and I went back to my Airbnb, and then I walked towards the restaurants in that area. My Airbnb was like right next to the beach. But yeah, I just ate at one of the restaurants that was there. I tried one of the restaurants. It wasn't open at the time it was supposed to be open. So as said by Google anyway, and I went to a different restaurant, and then I ordered from Uber Eats because I was super hot and a little agitated, and that was all I did for day one. Day one, okay. Not getting too far in this project right now. So day two, what? Oh, okay. So day two. Oh, I'm still on this one. I woke up and I went to go check out the beach area. So I walked over to the beach. It was very nice. I liked it. Did a little, I think it was like a 30-40 minute walk, sweat a little bit, touch the water. I didn't get too far into the water. I was recovering from a surgery and I didn't, the doctor said that I should be able to like swim and everything, but I still wasn't comfortable. I don't know why. It was my very first surgery, so I didn't want to get the stitches. And there was no more stitches. So but I just was like, oh, I just dipped my toe in, and I'll wait. I wanted to wait until later in the vacation to do anything. So like, if anything did happen, I would be going back home. So I didn't want to jump in the water in the beginning of the vacation. But I did a nice little beach walk, and I have a little bit of photos and videos from that as will be posted for you. And it was pretty. I liked it. I liked the little area. It was. I did not feel uncomfortable at all in the area during the daytime. I didn't try to walk out during the nighttime. Again, I'm a solo female. I'm not going to be walking out somewhere. Um, I'm still. This is my very first time doing a solo trip that I wasn't on a resort for out of the country. Any other time that I've been out of the country on a solo trip, I'm on a resort, and the only time I leave the resort is if I'm going on an excursion that the resort um like handled. So I was still getting transportation and everything with the hotel or resort area. So yeah, I went for a beach walk and then went to a couple stores because I had left a couple. I left my hair scarf by accident and something else. And other than that, I just did a salsa dancing class on the beach. And I like doing like dancing things. I'm not part of a dancing class in the States. I thought about it a couple times, but I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. So I wanted to do a salsa dancing classes. Again, that was something that I found on Airbnb, and they did have an Instagram, which I'll put their handle up. You can go to their Instagram. It's called Salsa Tours PR, I believe. I'll double check. I'll post it if it's not called that. That was fun. She was fun. I was the only solo person. Everybody else had a partner. So, um, when the instructor wanted to show something with a partner, she would use me, and I was actually surprised of myself because I usually am one of those people. I have like social anxiety and a performance anxiety, and anytime I'm like put on a spot, I always mess up. But for some reason, I just was kind of in the moment, and I also felt a little comfortable because it's not the first time I was taught the salsa. And I also, like, a couple weeks before that, I went to a friend's like dance party thing where they learn how to dance, and the people there would just teach me on the spot how to do the steps. They're like, you just have to do this and that, and then you just gotta follow me, follow my lead. And so I did really well. Like, one of the people was just like, during one of the demonstrations, I was able to follow the instructor really well. And one of the girls there was like, "Oh, she ate that," and I was like, "Oh, I'm so proud of myself," because I am one of those people who usually I'm just all up in my head and messing up the situation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Um, counter stitches. Um, so that was fun. I did enjoy that, and that was pretty much all I did. I think I ate. Did I eat then? Too? Oh no, actually, this day, the day of the beach walk and the salsa dancing, I didn't eat. I wanted to challenge myself, and my challenge was that I wanted to have a fasting day and like non-alcohol days. I wanted to, like, you don't need to use food and alcohol to enjoy your trip. Like, you don't need to gorge on food and drink yourself into a stupor in order to enjoy your vacation. So I wanted to fast for one of the days other than the day that I flew in, and I wanted to only have one designated drinking day. I drank on 2 out of the 4 days that I was there, 5 days I was there. But the other days just leaving and coming back home. So 4 days I was there. And yeah, I did well on that challenge, in my opinion. I think it's a good challenge. Like, do I have to eat in order to have fun? No, you don't have to. And I ate plenty of food. I enjoyed the food. It was mostly mofongo and trifongo and like empanadas and things like that. Like, so I definitely tried your food, and I was stuffed when I did eat. So um, I don't feel like I missed anything by not eating for one day. But that was the second day. So the second day again was the beach walk, and then chilling during like the hottest part of the day because again I sweat super heavy, and I just and then the beach, dancing on the beach. So that was a fun day as well, and did a little bit of driving and checking out the stores in the area. So day three. Oh, day three, I went out. Oh, day three. So I knew for day three I was going to be drinking. So I went to this bistro that was next to my Airbnb. I just got up early, not really early. I got up my normal time, and I think by 8 something, I believe, I walked over to the bistro area, and I wanted to walk to get like a tiny bit of workout, not really workout, but a tiny bit of something active before I went and ate. Walked over, was able to get a seat with no issue because I went there early because that specific bistro was full. And even if you look at the Google reviews, everybody was like, "Oh, it's full. It's hard to get seating." Um, it was delicious. That's when I had some trifongo um, on top of a waffle that was delicious, and it had some carne asada on the side. I think I took a picture of that. I feel like that's the only thing I took a picture of as far as food. Other than that, everything else I just ate. So I that was the only thing I was like, this is delicious. It truly was. I forgot to chain one. So, but I ate just to make sure that I didn't go and start drinking on an empty stomach because that would not have been a good idea. So I just waited until it was time to go to Casa Bacardi. That's where I ended up going. And I took an Uber because one, because the driving is crazy anyway, and two, because I was going to Casa Bacardi for the mixology class. So I was going to be drinking. I'm not about to sit here and drink and drive. Do not drink and drive, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? You should know that. Yeah, so I went to Casa Bacardi and I took a few pictures of that before the actual tour started. And you get a free drink. I forgot. Oh, you know what? It didn't cost me anything because I used my Chase Sapphire rewards points, so I didn't pay for that. I didn't even know that was an option in Chase Sapphire. I was looking at something else. I was looking at my rental. I was using my points to get the rental in Puerto Rico, and it said, "Oh, use your points to, do these events as well." And I was just like, "Oh, I got plenty of points, so I might as well just use them. I mean, why not?" So yeah, I think it would have cost me like $90 something or $80 something. They cost me points instead. So that was cool. It was a fun time. There was a girl that was at the same table as me, and she was cool. I talked to her for a little bit. She was there with like two or three of her friends, and they seemed nice. She was definitely nice. So the drinks they had us make. I'm gonna have to check the video because I can't remember the drinks they had us make. Hold on a second. All right. No, okay. I don't know why you have to be right there for that. All right. Anyway, Casa Bacardi. So the person that I was kind of partnered up with at the table, she was cool to talk to. She was pretty, and I had asked her like, "How do you keep your makeup on all day long?" I was like, "You keep your makeup on all day long out here?" Because I was not able to keep my makeup on when I did the photo op thing. I sweated out almost all my makeup within an hour. It wasn't even an hour. Within like 20 minutes of being there, when we were walking from each location, I was already just sweating, dripping. And in the pictures, you can see that. So I was like, "How are you able to keep your makeup on?" She was like, "Girl, I cannot keep this makeup on. This makeup was only on for this because we're going to take some pictures here. And then after that, we're going to the water park. So it's not going to be on all day." So I was just like, because I was just like, "Teach me the ways if you can get it to last all day." I'm not a super makeup person. But that was a fun event to go to. So if you are a drinker, they give you a tour before you do the mixology class. So try it out if you want to check it out. I liked it. It was something to do. So after the mixology class at Casa Bacardi, I went to the T-Mobile district. I should have stayed there a little bit longer than I did, but when I got to the T-Mobile district, there to get something to eat, and they had some music playing on the big screen outside. It was a nice area. They had somebody zip lining across it. Um, it was nice. I don't know why I didn't look a little bit more around. I think because I had the drinks at Casa Bacardi, and then when I got there, I went and ate at one of the restaurants, and I had another drink. And I think at that point I was just like, I'm done. Like I need to head out. I'm tired. So I headed out. That's a nice area as well. It was about, let's see, I went to Casa Bacardi at one something. So I think I was at the T-Mobile distro at maybe three something. So I'm sure if you go there later in the day, it's probably fun. But I didn't go. I didn't stay there too long. I probably was gone by like 5 after I was done eating and everything and enjoying the music that was there. That's a nice area as well, though. So go to the T-Mobile distro. Probably a little later than I did. If you do go. Day 4. Because other than that, I went back to my Airbnb and I just chilled. And the whole time, every time I went back to my Airbnb, by the way, I was watching Baby Reindeer. I don't know if y'all seen Baby Reindeer, but that was an interesting show. For day 4, I had another Airbnb excursion planned, but the person canceled it the day before. I'm guessing he didn't have enough people, maybe, so he canceled it, which is fine. It was supposed to be like I go to the Yukon Yukon UK Park. I'll type it up there for you because I don't know how to say it right. Sorry, but it was that and go to some secret like beach areas, something like that, something along those lines. Go to a couple of food spots. But anyway, he canceled it. So they had a horse riding excursion do Karabari Forest, and so I paid for that instead, and um I was able to get into a time slot at like 9:30 the next day. I'm so glad I picked 9:30 because it's hot. Super hot. Um but I'm glad I picked 9:30. I just drove. It was about probably 45 minutes away from my Airbnb, so that wasn't too bad. And the drive wasn't bad either because it was mostly on the highway. So got there, signed a waiver, got some bug spray and whatnot. By the way, though, the bug spray might work for mosquitoes, but it definitely didn't work for the no-see-ums that bit the shit out of me all through my pants and everything. I was wearing white leg pants, and I was thinking, oh, if I wear pants, then I should be more protected. But they were white legs, so they still got all up in there and bit up my calves and everything. Anyway, it was fun. They had a little a store you could buy trinkets and stuff, and that's where I bought a couple of souvenirs for my mom and stepdad, and that was good. I'm definitely going to show you some pictures and videos of the ride. I like horses. I was probably like my 5th time riding a horse in general. I know horseback riding is a very expensive hobby, so I don't know if I would ever get into it like a hobby, but it's good either way. But there, like if you're not interested in horses, they also had four wheeling. I think what else did I see them doing? It was like four wheeling, like sand dune buggy. I'm gonna put the name of the place there, and then you'll see. They also had a restaurant there. I'm not sure why I didn't just eat there because I went back to my Airbnb and then and then ate somewhere else. I could just ate there. I don't know why I didn't. But yeah, you can come back and just eat there. But it had other things besides horseback riding, so four wheeling, ATVing, something else. But I just put the name up there and you can just Google it and it'll tell you all the things they have there. Um, the beach horseback riding was $183, I believe. But if you did the just the horseback riding, I don't believe it was that much. So it was a little bit cheaper. So they had two options as far as the horseback riding. And then when I got home, I had started feeling the itching, so I took a shower and everything, and I started packing, and that was pretty much it. Like the next morning, I had to be up at 4 something in the morning and get back to the airport and everything, which wasn't bad. Pretty good trip. I enjoyed myself. I'm glad that I went, even though um it wasn't originally supposed to be a solo trip, but it wasn't my first solo trip anyway. It's just my first solo trip that was off a resort outside of the states. So this was a good like baby steps for me because I know there's a couple times where I said, "Oh, like I want to travel solo," but I'm also very alert and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to be walking around in an area I don't know by myself in these countries." But I know plenty of people do it, and they do beyond that. They're out there backpacking out in the forest and everything, and they come back safe. So it's not like it's not a possibility. So I might as well, start taking these baby steps to get myself more comfortable in doing it because if, I'm not gonna wait until I find a friend or a partner to travel. I like to travel, and I get excited the moment I know I'm going to travel somewhere. Like I know I have oh, because of that whole flight cancellation, I received $100 voucher from Frontier, which I feel like I should have got more for that. That was super inconvenient, but um, but I have to use it within 90 days, so I got to figure out what I'm going to use it on because now it's been 30 days already. So I need to find out what I'm going to use that on. And I also have credit from a different airline because I had to cancel a trip for a different reason. And I gotta use those credits. I gotta go. I gotta go and I want to travel. So I say all this, not getting too far on this little project. I say all this just to say I like to go out and explore new areas, and it would be nice to do it with other people. But I know how I am. I like to have my alone time, and I don't want to wait for people to have time or money or whatever the case is. Or maybe you go somewhere and you realize that y'all two aren't on the same um you're not seeing eye to eye as far as what you want to do and where you want to go and how long you want to sleep or if you want to party or whatnot. um or if you're looking for guys or sexual encounters and stuff like that. So I don't know how easy it is for other people to find somebody that like they mesh with when it comes to traveling or just hanging out in general. So until I find that, I'm not gonna just wait for it to happen. I'm gonna go out and do what I can on my own. And I still want to be able to enjoy my time. So I guess the main point of this is one, if you haven't been in Puerto Rico, go check out Puerto Rico. I would like to go again and check out the other like cities that are popular because I heard there was another city. I don't remember which one it was called, but I'm sure there's another city out there that's kind of popular for tourists, and I think it'd be nice to check that out. I had a car. I don't know why I didn't just go driving out there. I'm sure I probably could have drove the whole island in a day. Um, but again, I'm still happy with what I did do. I had something for each day, and I'm glad I went. So I hope that you stay long enough to see the pictures and the videos and listen to what I had to say, and hopefully you were interested. I didn't get too far on this. I only got like a couple rows, but I'm gonna keep working on it, and eventually I will show y'all how it came out. Hopefully by the end of this weekend probably. And if you crochet, let me know. Or if you have an experience in Puerto Rico, just put something down in the comments. What was your experience? Did you go solo? Did you go with friends? Did you have a good experience? Did you have a bad experience? Do you have experience with solo travel in general? Like, let us know. All right. Thanks for listening and watching. Bye.